7 p.m. It's a special meeting. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
flag of
of
the
the
United States of America
and
and
to
to
the
the
Republic which it stands, one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God, indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty
liberty and
and
justice for all.
justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, Jenny? Did we lose Jenny?
No, I'm back.
Okay, good.
I'm really problem. If this happens, I'll just go sign in. The best I can do.
Okay.
I don't know why it does this.
Can you do roll call, please?
Sure. Anna Corbin Sabinsky,
Here.
Kevin Zorda,
here,
Virginia Higley here, Carrie Ann Howe, Robert Hendrickson,
Here,
Robert Chagnon, Marie Pisner,
Here,
Marcy's absent.
Ginny's frozen.
Oh, no.
I'm sure.
Okay. Marcy's absent, so we'll continue. And I would like to seat Marie.
Okay.
Okay. Next is correspondence. So we did receive the town attorney's report dated October 27th. It came to our emails. Hope everybody got a copy of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we also received an email, I know I did, from the Connecticut Bar Association regarding Casio, which is going to be held on Saturday, March 6th, 2021. It's going to be all-day training. We hold it at Wesleyan. It's going to be a Zoom meeting, so that will be different this year. They'll be sending out the registration information later on, a little bit later on when it gets closer. You also get continuing ed credits for it. So it's really nice meeting. We have it happens every couple of years. They have a lot of nice sessions and stuff.
I don't know that I got,
Yeah.
I'm not sure that I got that email. Savannah, can you?
I did
forward
not.
that to me?
You didn't?
I don't think I got it either. So Donna, could you please send it to us?
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
that's an issue.
Yeah.
Donna, you're a very important person.
Jenny got it. I know she got it too.
I got it and sent it to Donna. I thought, Savannah Nicole, that Lori or Jen would have told you about it. It's Wesleyan University every 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I received one too, so and I received the one you sent me, but yeah, it's a good meeting. There's a lot of information you can gain from it.
I would very much appreciate being added to this forward chain.
Okay, we'll send it. That's all I have for correspondence. Then we have agents correspondence, site visits, if anybody has any comments on anything.
No,
No, okay, moving on. Approval of minutes from October 21st, 2020.
I move that we approve them as written.
Thank you,
second,
thank you. Jenny, roll call?
She is gone.
We lost.
She's there, but
Do we lose a voice? All right, roll call, so.
Would you like me? I can do
Yes,
it.
Kevin, can you take it, please?
Donna Corbin Sabinsky,
Yes.
Kevin Zorder, yes. Marie Pisnar
yes.
and Bob Hendrickson.
yes,
And Ginny,
Yours?
no, she's not here.
All right, well, 4 in favor, so motion passes for the minute. Hopefully she'll join us shortly. We have no old business. We have no new business. Well, under new business, we have a public hearing, IW 619. So can I have a motion to go into public hearing?
Yeah.
I'll
I
motion.
Okay, second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Okay, do I hear Ginny again?
Yeah, I'm here. If it happens again, I'll go all the way back out and come all the way back in.
Okay, so we started the public hearing for IW 619-135 Freshwater Boulevard. It's an application for a map
Okay.
amendment to the town of Enfield official wetlands map to redelineate the wetland area as referenced on the site plan titled Wetland Map Amendment dated 10/2/2020 for the property known as 135 Freshwater Boulevard, South Meadows, number 9, LLC, and Harzito Investments LLC. Owner David Ziax, applicant representative, map 56, lot 24. The legal ad was posted on the website, so we're good there. So the rules, real quick, will be the applicant will give the name and address for the record, and then they'll give statements regarding the application. Afterwards, the agents and staff may ask questions and comments, then hear from the public, only regarding the topics on the public and areas of concern for the inland wetlands and our regulations. Please do not bring up any other items not related to inland wetlands. You'll keep everyone muted to decrease any background noises. All those wishing to speak will raise your hand in the e-meeting. When you're called upon, you must state your name and address for the record. If at any time the hearing becomes unruly or unmanageable, the chair, I will call recess. The statements from the public hearing are for the purpose to be considered in deliberations of the regular meeting. After we hear from the public, we'll then hear statements from the applicant again to address any questions and concerns that was raised. Prior to the meeting, the applicant had to provide documentation to notices sent to abutting properties with certified mail no more than 15 days prior to and no less than 10 days prior to the day of the hearing. Savannah, I'm guessing you received those?
Under COVID, that's not required for public hearings.
Perfect. I'm going to put that on my notes. Sorry about that. Not required, COVID. Okay. So, did you have anything to add to this before we start, Savannah? There was no update.
The only thing is that the motion in your draft resolution has David Ziax as the applicant representative, and it should be Sean Diabella, who's here on the call. So whomever makes the motion when it is that time, regardless of decision, I can remind you again, but we just need to be sure we say Sean Diabella's name.
Okay. Good. So are the applicants on the call?
Yes, Madam Chairman, this is Dave Ziax from F.A. Hesketh Associates.
Hi.
And how you doing this evening?
Well, thank
And
you.
yes, thanks. And Sean DeBella, who's representing the applicant, he's on the call. I see him hiding up there in the virtual world.
Yes, yeah, I'm here. Hello.
Yeah, and so if there's any questions for the applicant themselves, you feel free to ask Sean regarding those matters. Savannah, can I share our mapping here? There we go. I'm going to switch over to slides so you can see them better. This first application, public hearing, is for a map amendment on the subject property that you'll hear later this evening. It's at 135 Freshwater Boulevard. What I did was I copied off the website the town's official wetlands map. You can see the subject property here is shaded in the pink reddish color, located right here. This is on the easterly side of Freshwater Boulevard. It's just south of the large Stop and Shop shopping center that's located on the corner of Hazard and Freshwater Boulevard, sort of across from the ShopRite Brookside Plaza Shopping Center. And pretty much all of the surrounding land to the east, to the south, and across the street on Freshwater Boulevard, that land is land that's still owned by the town. It's part of the old industrial park land that was acquired back, I guess, in the 80s, 70s, and the 80s. And so this parcel at 135 is part of the industrial park. It's zoned IP, which is kind of a a unique zone in town. So the parcel is 6.71 acres. And back in, again, this is the official map. So you can see the map still has some wetlands encroaching into the property from the south. It has a finger of wetlands that's cutting through the shopping center. It comes in from the north. That's obviously not there anymore. And then it has a unnamed water course that flows from the south to the north that's actually tributary to Freshwater Brook, which is on the other side of Hazard Avenue. There's a wetlands associated with that water course, and that's actually fairly accurate based upon the mapping. So this was the map that we submitted, the official map for tonight's application. You can see I've indicated superimposed on this map in this red dash line. Those are the lines digitized off the town map. So again, you have the finger coming in from the north. You have a wetland coming in from the south. And then you have a wetland that's off the site, but it's running along the easterly side of the property. And then on this map is the orange line is the actual flagged wetlands from the soil scientist. We have this man-made ditch along the northeast corner of the property that was constructed as part of the shopping center and the existing use that's on this property. And then you can see the wetlands are off the property to the south and slightly off the property to the east on the town's land. What's interesting about this is this was all flagged. It's been flagged several times, but it was flagged as part of a 2009 study that I was part of, working with the previous owners of this property and the town's Economic Development Commission. All of this property surrounding us was flagged back in 2009. That's why I included the entire study for you, so you could see, all the flagging that was done. It was done by Tom Petrus, a registered soil scientist who's worked in town for many years. And so what's interesting, as Tom noted in his report, is that there was a proposed golf course on the town industrial park. That was one of the projects that was started and stopped. And so nearly all of the wetlands surrounding this property have been heavily disturbed over the years. And really the wetlands that are there are primarily made up of man-altered wetlands that have had an opportunity to revegetate over the years. So it's just kind of an interesting part of the history. But for this property, subject property tonight, the only wetlands that are currently flagged on the property is that man-made drainage ditch along the northerly portion of the site. The rest of the wetlands are abutting wetlands. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. I think the application's pretty straightforward.
Okay, does anyone have any questions or comments for the applicant? You talked about the, there was mention of amphibians inhabit in the southern wetland soil.
Yeah, the area that Tom was referring to is down here. There's a cross culvert that comes under Freshwater Boulevard, right about in this here where I have my pointer. It connects the wetlands on the west side of Freshwater Boulevard to the wetlands on the east side of Freshwater Boulevard, both on town property. And there has been probably a vernal pool been created down in this location here. I know out in the large piece abutting us to the east that there are various water features and potentially vernal pools out there that were primarily man-made because they created small ponds, they created sand traps, things of that nature as part of the first round of construction for the golf course, and then abandoned it. And those areas have had a chance to turn into those types of features. So it wouldn't surprise me if there's, down in this area over here, there's probably some form of a vernal pool near the road. That's what he was referring to. But there aren't any such features on this property.
Okay. Does any other agents have any questions or staff? Or comments?
No, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Now, currently, there's a building there, correct?
Yes, there's a building right here.
Right.
Yes, and this is paved, and there's a driveway here.
Okay.
All right, that's what I was thinking. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, they're currently, that was a business for multiple years. I don't know if it's still open. I don't think it is.
oh, yes, it has a tenant in it right now.
Oh,
I
it
think it's-
does. Okay.
Oh, yes.
All
Oh,
right.
yeah.
It was a plastics company or something, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly.
Yeah, Layered Plastics, yes. Mhm.
Okay, so that building is staying. Nothing's going to do with that.
That's correct.
Okay, all right. So this is an additional building on the same property that has one.
Yeah, in the next application, yeah. Mhm.
In the next application, right. This one's just talking about.
I know, I'm
the-
jumping ahead because
yeah.
I'm reading, but I just want to make sure I'm reading right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
No,
And you
I-
got the right property. You got the right property.
Okay, no, I just want to make sure I'm in the right area. So, okay, good.
Perfect. Good. Is there anybody in the audience, Savannah, that you see that would like to speak or give statements regarding this application?
Do not see anyone in the chat box. I do not see any hands raised. I'm going to unmute everybody for a brief moment to see if anyone will speak.
Yeah. So is there anybody, again, for the second time, is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak regarding this application for the IW 619-135 Freshwater Boulevard map amendment? Okay, one last time. Is there anybody who would like to speak or say something regarding the map amendment for IW 619-135 Freshwater Boulevard? Okay, hearing none, we'll move forward. Excuse me. Again, we can ask if any of the agents or staff have any more comments or concerns,
Not at this time.
or the applicant would like to speak and say anything else.
No, I think that concludes our presentation, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. Okay, so I think for that, can we have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second,
Okay, can we have roll call? Ginny, are you there? Kevin, could you do roll call?
I can. Donna Corbin Sabinski,
Yes.
Kevin Zorda, yes. Bob Hendrickson
Yes.
and Marie Pisno.
yes.
Yeah, is Ginny there, back?
Virginia Hiddenley,
I'm here.
is that a yes?
Is that a yes to close the
Yes.
hearing? Okay, 5 in favor, motion
Yes.
passes. The public hearing is closed. So do we have, would we?
Yes. You want a motion?
Yes, please.
Okay. I will make a motion to approve the wetlands map amendment for IW number 619-135 Freshwater Boulevard application for a map amendment to the Town of Enfield official wetlands map to redelineate the wetland areas as referenced on the site plan titled Wetlands Map Amendment dated 10/02/2020 for the property known as 135 Freshwater Boulevard, South Meadows, number 9 LLC in Hartzit 2 Investments LLC owner, and it's Sean DeBella, applicant representative, correct?
Yes.
Map 56, lot 24, IP zone.
Do we have a second?
Second,
Second,
whoever,
3 seconds.
everybody seconded.
There we go. Can we have a roll call, Ginny?
sure. Donna Corbin Sabinski,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
that was
We're
me.
losing her.
Anderson. Henrik,
For the,
Yes.
Bob, yeah, okay.
Yes,
Marie Peter.
yes.
Okay, so that's everybody.
Jenny, you said yes, I'm taking, I kind of lost you for there.
Yes,
Okay, good.
Yes,
Five
I-
in favor. Thank you. 5 in favor, motion passes for the map amendment for IW 619. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. So next on our agenda happens to be IW 620, 135 Freshwater Boulevard, application for the permit to construct a new 5,040 square foot building, 10 parking spaces, and 111,000 square feet of outdoor storage with associated improvements on the property known as 135 Freshwater Boulevard. And as referenced on the site plans provided by the applicant dated October 2nd, 2020, South Meadows, number 9 LLC and Herzidio Investments LLC. Owner is Sean Diabella, is that correct?
Yes,
And David Ziak is the applicant representative, map 56, lot 24. I hope I did that right.
yes, that sounds correct.
Okay, good.
So, members of the commission, this is the same property that we talked about in the public hearing. It's 135 Freshwater Boulevard. It's had a building on it for many years. It currently has one occupant, which is Laird Plastics. They operate their facility here. As you can see on the photo, this is the back, up to the north of us is the backside of the Stop and Shop shopping center. And they have a paved parking lot on the north side of the building, and the access to the site is a single driveway that goes out to Freshwater Boulevard. The plan that's before you this evening would retain that use and then add another use to the property, which would be this sort of purplish colored building. That's 5,040 square feet, a one-story building. It's basically offices and maintenance and storage. There would be a small parking area in the front, which is for 10 spaces, including an ADA parking space. And then access around the building, this sort of checkerboard squares here would be larger outdoor concrete patios where they perform some other operations with the containers that they do. This is going to be for a mobile mini facility. If you're familiar with all, you're starting to see them around quite a bit. They rent portable containers for construction sites, renovation areas, temporary storage of anything on your property. They're relatively large steel boxes that are very secure from a security point of view. And they're starting to move into our area in Connecticut and Massachusetts with new facilities to service the area. But I'm starting to see them on construction sites that they have a very distinct logo on the side of their boxes, so you can see them. So they're getting very popular. And so that's the proposal as far as the hard surface. And then the rest of the yard that will be constructed in a fenced-in yard here is about 111,000 square feet of open area where they'll store the boxes and the rest of their equipment that is available for rental. This is a regular master plan that was submitted. Again, you can see the existing building and the proposed building with all the dimensioning. We have listed the types of outdoor storage. They're all dry boxes, some equipment, some forklift trucks, things of that nature. And this area in here, around the building and the outside storage area, this will be a processed gravel material. It won't be all paved. We've gone back and forth with staff a couple of times on what would be the appropriate treatment for this. And we're going to agree with staff to go with a standard processed gravel type of material, aggregate material, and not use a harder surface, which would be an asphalt millings. You know, when they mill up all the highways and roads that you see constantly, there is a product that they make from that, which is all asphalt. It's called millings. And when you put it down and you roll it, compacted, it's pretty close to a paved surface. And staff suggested that we should go with a more pervious type of material, which would be a gravel-based material rather than the asphalt millings. And we've agreed to revise the specification to do that. So that's a, staff comment that you see in their list of comments. So what happens is the coverage on the site goes from, right now it's about 20.2% with the single building. It will go to 62.7%. In the IP zone, you're allowed to go to 66% maximum coverage, so we're below that. And approximately 2.3 acres of our development will be in the upland review area. But most of that upland review area is really associated with that drainage ditch that we talked about in the previous application is located right in here. Its only function really is a drainage ditch. But you still count it because they did flag some wetlands along the base of that drainage ditch. So, by the regulations, you still have to add a 100-foot upland review area around that. So a good portion of our 2.3 acres of disturbance is associated with working close to the ditch. And then there's some activity along the east side here that we're doing. You have a 100-foot setback from the wetlands. It's over on the town's property. And then down here to the south, where you have these little tips of the wetlands coming up close to us, again, you have to draw 100 feet around that. And in this area, the only disturbance that will be in this area is we're going to run some utilities close to the existing building and tie them into the proposed building. And that essentially is a temporary disturbance through there because we'll just restore the ground vegetation there once we install the underground utilities. So that's really the extent of the disturbance to the upland review area. Again, this is a more precise layout plan that's in your package. You can see the labeling and the layout for all the various components to the project. And again, this area here will be outdoor storage only. Now, along the easterly boundary line here, we're going to construct a large water quality basin, and almost all of the drainage from the outdoor storage area will go by sheet flow and then flow into the water quality basin before it leaves the site. And that's been sized to meet Connecticut DEP standards. We will have a very small drainage system for the paved parking lot here on the west side of our proposed building. There we'll install a hydrodynamic separator and then a small pipe to discharge it over into the existing drainage swale. So the water that comes off this parking area will be treated by a new hydrodynamic treatment system before it makes it to the drainage ditch. Here, the water quality basin will have an outlet here at the north end, and that will be tied into the drainage system, drainage swale also. So there'll be no direct discharges to the nearby wetlands as part of the project. This is just a landscaping plan that shows the general landscaping around the parking area for the building. And then the water quality basin, that will be seeded with a type B, and our specification for type B is basically it's a conservation wetland mix. So get an opportunity to get some wetland type plantings to grow in this water quality basin. This will not be, in other words, it will not be a mowed grass basin, it'll be a natural basin. Here was the grading plan, if you had a chance to look at that, but basically it's very mild grading. And again, the outdoor storage area is sloped to drain to the water quality basin. Up here at the north end is the little outlet structure, which will drain to the drainage ditch. Over here is the hydrodynamic separator in the little parking area that will drain over. There's currently an existing couple of drainage pipe that comes in to the drainage ditch at this location, and we'll be putting our new pipe right near there where it's already disturbed. Over here, you can see where I was talking about the utilities. This is the existing building located right here. We have to run water and sewer to the new building. And so we're going to keep it up tucked close to the existing building. And again, this area here, when we're done, will be restored to a lawn area and revegetated. So that's a temporary disturbance down in this area here. Now, all of the plans we have our erosion control plan mixed in with the plans. This is a combination grading and erosion control plan. And we have all the detail sheets shown for necessary for construction of the project in the package, if you had a chance to look at that. That's basically the application. We did get a chance to review staff comments and their recommendations, and we have no concerns with anything they're suggesting. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have regarding the application.
Thank you. Does any agents have any questions or concerns?
I just have one. I'm not familiar with mini mobiles, but am I kind of thinking they're the same thing as a pod that you would rent, like if you were moving? Do they look such like that?
Yes, they're actually pretty similar to that. I think the pod has a tendency to be more geared towards residential uses.
Okay,
Yeah, whereas the mini is, at least from my review of it and talking to Sean, they're more geared towards the commercial client.
Okay.
Construction, industrial types of things.
so those grids would hold each of the little minis, I'm assuming. Is that what you're saying when you have the grid? Is it?
No, well, these would be outdoor concrete areas so that when they store
And
the
that's where the
mini,
minis would be parked.
yeah, and they would load them up, and then they would have other
Okay.
minis parked out in the lawn area. I mean, out in the gravel areas that are waiting
Okay.
to be rented. But if you rent one, they're going to park their trucks there, load them up, and deliver them to you.
Okay. All right. No, good. Thank you.
I guess I'm gonna ask our usual question. This is where you put the snow piles.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think we're going to have to take up some areas because any place we put snow out on the outdoor areas, the snow is going to have to drain into our water quality basin first. So nothing can leave the site without getting through our water quality basin.
Okay.
And so
Where's the
there-
snow piles for the existing building?
I'm not sure. I would assume, I mean, they have a large asphalt area here, so they're going to have to store it on their asphalt and it'll have to drain through the drainage system.
Okay, so it's there's something.
Yeah,
already
I mean,
there.
there's wood, it's wooded behind them now, so they must take care of it.
Right.
I think I saw a couple years ago, they had a fairly large pile out in this grass area out in front of the building over here. But again, that has to drain down through their system and then down the drainage ditch.
Right, right. I
So
guess the
the-
staff also commented about, are they gonna wash and clean any of the storage containers and?
Yeah, they don't do that on the site. Usually, if there's some reason that they have to do it, they bring it inside and they wash them inside. That's why here, you can see, I didn't mention that during the presentation, but there's an oil and grease separator structure right here located where my dot is. And that's tied into floor drains that are inside this building. So they would wash the units down inside the building, and then that becomes sanitary sewer waste, not on the surface. In Connecticut, you can't wash commercial buildings outside, commercial equipment outside without going to a sanitary sewer.
This just keeps floating in and out.
I'll throw it down again, so.
No, that does no good.
If there's anything else? Anybody have any other questions or comments for him?
Staff is thankful that the applicant and applicant's representatives were willing to go with the processed gravel as opposed to the millings. We really appreciate it. Commissioner, sorry that that email came in the
Yeah.
final hour, but I wanted to confirm with the engineering department that this was something that they approved and they are much happier with the proposed gravel. So I rewrote condition 5 just so that it reflects the new outdoor storage area that is proposed.
Perfect. Okay. I don't-
So the ditch to the north, that, so does that feed the brook? Does that go to the brook? or that unnamed
Yeah,
waterway?
eventually, about another 150 feet or so away, it intercepts that water course that's on the town's property, which then flows, oh, I don't know. It takes all the drainage from Stop and Shop. It flows, what, maybe another 500 to 1,000 feet before you get to Freshwater Brook. That's, way on the other north side of Hazard Avenue.
Okay. I was just a little concerned with the additional volume coming off of the paved surface, what that might do to that ditch with the increased volume on a heavy rainfall.
Yeah, the only place that is not detained is the small 10-car parking area, that we're proposing here.
Right.
All of our outdoor storage area has to go through the water quality basin.
Right.
And I'm not calling that a detention basin, but for all practical purposes, it really is.
Okay.
It only has a 6-inch outlet out of it. So we really don't have a concern with the volume. It's going to be detained on the site and attenuated. So really not, I don't think it's going to be an issue. And the town engineer didn't either. So.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, again, I didn't want to call that a detention basin because it's
Right.
it's technically not a detention basin. It's not really designed for that, but it ends up being that, and particularly since the whole site has to drain through a 6-inch orifice. It's you're not going to get much flow out of there right away.
Right.
Right.
All right. I have no further questions.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Shall I make a motion?
Sure.
All right. So I move that we approve the wetlands permit for IW number 620-135 Freshwater Boulevard, applicant for a permit to construct a new 5,040 square foot building, 10 parking spaces, and 111,000 square feet of outdoor storage with associated improvements on the property known as 135 Freshwater Boulevard, and as referenced on the site plans provided by the applicant dated October 2nd, 2020. South Meadows number 9 LLC, Hartzito Investments LLC, owner Sean DeBella, applicant representative, map 56, lot 24, IP zone. With site-specific conditions to include that the applicant agrees to properly remove all cut material from the site. Number 2, sedimentation and erosion control best management practices will be practiced. Number 3, the applicant agrees to seed all disturbed areas with the seed types referenced on page LS-1 of the reference site plan dated 10/2/2020. Number 4, all conditions of approval and departmental comments above will be forwarded to the Planning and Zoning Commission for their review. Finally, condition number 5, that the Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Agency shall receive a full set of plans that accurately depict the outdoor storage surface area of processed gravel material in accordance with CT-DOT Form 818, Section M 0203, Grading C, and the Engineering Department and Water Pollution Control Division comments.
That was long. Do we have a second? Do we have a second for the motion?
Commissioner,
Second,
Kennedy,
Marie, you were muted.
Yeah, you're still muted.
Sorry, I'm with Ginny. Let's get back in chambers.
So that was Marie. Ginny, are you there? I think we lost her. 'Cause I saw her
All
leave.
right, I'll do the roll call.
Thank you.
Donna Corbin Sabinski,
Yes.
Kevin Zorda, yes. Marie Pisnar,
Here, yes.
Robert Hendrickson,
Yes.
and just Virginia Higley. No, she's not here.
He's not
All
here.
right,
So
4 in favor.
4 in favor, motion passes. Thank you very much, applicants, for your time.
Thank you. Good
And-
evening.
Yes,
Have a nice
everyone.
evening.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Good
Bye now.
night. Have a good night.
Thanks.
Bye. Thank you.
Minute to log off. See if we get Ginny back. Okay, so next on the agenda is a public hearing for IW 621. Can I have a motion to go into a public hearing?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
That's Marie. All in favor? Aye.
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 Kevin, could you do roll call for the public hearing?
Sure, Donna Corbin Sabinski,
Here.
Kevin Zorda here, Marie Pisnar,
Here.
Robert Hendrickson,
Here.
Virginia Higley. In spirit.
Maybe.
Yeah. Hopefully she joins us. Okay, we do have the legal ad again posted on the website. The rules are the same as the last public hearing we just did, where the applicant will give their name and address for the record and then give statements regarding the applications. Afterwards, the agents and staff can ask questions and make comments. We'll then hear from the public regarding topics of the public hearing only and concerns of the wetlands, inland and wetlands regulations only. We will keep everyone muted to decrease any background noises. All those wishing to speak must raise their hand in the meeting or we'll call upon you, open the mics. If at any time the hearing becomes unruly or unmanageable, we will call a recess. The statements from the public are for purpose to be considered in deliberations of the regular meeting. After we hear from the public, we'll then hear statements from the applicant to address any questions and concerns. The next part is not, you don't need to worry about. So are the applicants here?
Yes, we are.
Okay, good. This is for IW, by the way, this is for IW 621, 165 Elm Street. Application for a map amendment to the Town of Enfield official wetlands map to redelineate the wetlands area as referenced on the site plan titled Existing Conditions, dated 7/29/2019 and revised 10/19/2020 for the property known as 165 Elm Street. American Eagle Property Management and Investments LLC owner, Kate Bednez, applicant representative, map 57, lot 200, R33 zone. Okay. Hi, Kate.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Great to be back in Enfield. I see a lot of new faces, and the one that keeps popping in and out, Ginny, hopefully she can pop in. I don't know if there's a call-in option that might be easier, but anyways, to get to the application, so as it was stated, this is for 165 Elm Street, it's an inland wetlands map amendment petition request to the agency. And the site is about 3.14 acres, and in the front of the property, you know, I'm going to try to share my screen. I haven't done it on this platform yet, so if you will be so kind to entertain me and let me know that if you see the map. It never shows the screen.
Oh, there it is. There it
Yep.
is.
You see a map?
Yep.
Good, I don't.
Well, we did. Now we see
did.
meeting notes or something.
Okay, wait. I can bring it back. Here it is.
There it is.
Okay, fantastic. So, you know, this property here, as you can see, the front portion of the property is developed. There is retail, commercial use in the front, a large parking area. And when you look at this, this is the inland wetlands map for the town of Enfield. And you can see this swath of mapped wetlands that go right through the center of the property. Back on this side, we have residential as well as to the east. There are residential properties and even to the west. This is Elm Street right here. And right in the center of this property is a slippery elm. very appropriate for the street. So I went out there to take a look to see if these wetlands were still existing, because if we look here, this is the most recent soil survey from NRCS, which is available on the web. And what they have mapped here for 236 is Windsor Urban Land Complex, as well as Windsor Loamy Sand. Those are both excessively drained soils. And then this little 13 here is a Walpole Sandy Loam, and that is poorly drained. And that does creep onto the site a little bit. Everything else is excessively drained, and where this is on the site, it's pavement. So this area here is where that would have extended that wetland boundary. If we look back here at your town map, and you can kind of look at this little knuckle here on the wetlands map, and we have this knuckle here on the Walpole soil series. So it appears that it would have been somewhat likely that these soils would have extended. But when I had gone out there, the evidence that I was seeing was that that was historic. Everything back in this area, I went and I looked through the entire property and dug test pits, and what I was finding is that there was great soil development, as documented in my letter, from 0 to 16 inches, and my documentation was from the lowest elevation point on the property, which is right next to this elm tree. So having that 16 inches of developed soils, which do appear to be fill soils historically because of the soil development that I did see in that first 16 inches, but then underneath that 16 inches, there was a buried A horizon. So I did see some redoxomorphic features starting within of the soil surface, and the soil colors from Matrix did not qualify it as a wetland or hydric soil. Most likely we're seeing that redox happening because of the fact that there's a capillary action happening between that organic rich A layer that's at 16 inches, and then the soils that are above that are much more of a fine sand material, less loamy in nature than what is underneath it. So you get that kind of water kind of comes down through the soil profile. It waits as a static pressure, and then it continues to saturate down from the surface. And being at the low point of the property, that makes sense. So as a professional wetland scientist and registered soil scientist with Freshwater Wetland Services, I think I missed that. My professional opinion is that the wetlands no longer persist on this property, and we request that the wetlands map be amended to reflect these observations. Per Savannah Nicole's request, what we did is we included, let's see if it's on here. I don't have it in my scroll. It's separate. So what you have in front of you as well is the site plan, which was put together by LADA. Phil Doyle is also on this meeting or hearing right now. If there's any questions in regards to that. Savannah Nicole, I don't know if you have the plan to pull up, or if anybody has any questions. By the time I find it, I don't know if it'd be worth it.
The commission received it in their master packet. So.
Perfect. So yeah, so on there, it's pretty much what we had as a survey available to us at the time, and then what Phil did in his neat and tidy nature when he gets into a project is go out there and identify what it might be different. So he's identified trees, that tree in the middle, that slippery elm. He kind of drew in some parking spaces. And so that is the site plan that we have available for you. I don't have anything to show, so it's, we don't have anything fun to put on it, but there is something for you to reference, which shows that there are no wetland soils on there. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Does any agents or staff have any comments or questions?
I just one comment. That big elm tree, that big slippery elm that she keeps talking about, I've been told by the conservation that is like the oldest elm tree in Enfield. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, no, it's kind of like the historical elm tree in Enfield. So it's just kind of a, landmark in our town, but nothing's gonna happen to that anyways, but I'm just saying, it's kind of a
Just call
cool
it.
tree.
Yeah, poultry.
Do they
I
know
guess-
how old it is? Sorry.
I don't, but
Same to me.
Karen actually, Gretchen Pfeiffer knows, she was the one who had said something to me as well as Karen. It is one of the like oldest elm trees, and that's how the street got its name. So it's kind of just a little neat bit of history. So
Why look at it again? Okay, so then moving to the audience, do we have anybody in the audience that would like to give statements or comments regarding this application?
I do not see anything in the chat box. I'm gonna unmute everyone one more time to be sure.
Again, is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak or give comments regarding this application for map amendment? W 621, 165 Elm Street. One last call. Anybody in the audience wishing to speak for this application on IW 621, 165 Elm Street for application map amendment? Okay, we'll move on then. Would the applicant like to speak again or say anything? Comments, questions? Okay,
No,
we're
thank
back.
you. Thank you.
Okay. Does any of the agents or staff have any comments or questions?
None at this time.
Okay, then can we have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call, Jenny, please. She's not here.
I'll do it.
Kevin?
Donna Corbin Zabinski,
Yes,
Kevin Zorda, yes. Robert Hendrickson,
Yes.
Marie Pisnar,
Yes.
Virginia Higley. 4 in favor. 1
4 in
abstain.
favor. Yeah, 4 in favor, 1 abstain. Motion passes and public hearing is now closed. Okay, do we have any motions for this?
I will make a motion to approve the wetlands map amendment for IW number 621, 165 Elm Street, application for a map amendment to the town of Enfield official wetlands map to redelineate the wetlands area as referenced on the site plan titled Existing Condition dated 7/29/2019 and revised 10/19/2020 for the property known as 165 Elm Street, American Eagle Property Management and Investments LLC owner Kate Bednaz, applicant representative map 57 lot 200 R33 zone.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Marie. Kevin, can we do roll call, please?
Sure. Donna Corbin Sabinski,
Yes.
Kevin Zorda, yes. Robert Hendrickson
Yes.
and Marie Pisnar.
Yes.
4 in favor.
4 in favor. Motion passes. Thank you. It would be cool if we could get a little plaque for the tree.
It's, yeah, I mean, I don't know, you'd have to talk to Gretchen or Karen LaPlante.
Yeah. have it-
They were the two that actually had said to me that it's kind of like the oldest elm tree in Enfield. So it's kind of like the icon on the street, so.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Well, thank you very much, Kate, for coming and presenting your application to us.
Thank you all. Have a wonderful evening.
Yes,
You
you
too.
too now.
All right,
Thank you. For a minute. Okay, next on our agenda is enforcement reports. I don't believe we have any.
Nope, Chairman, the recording secretary and I have been speaking, and from the notice of action and the minutes, we're going to say for this meeting, the motion passed with a 4-0-1 vote with Commissioner Higley abstaining due to technical difficulties, just because of the nature of the meeting. So
Yeah, good idea.
Good idea.
it was all Liz. She's our
Do you have a report or anything for us?
Nope.
Nope. We have no new applications to be received. So we have no agent approvals.
I
Our
move
next
we
meeting, is
adjourn.
sched- yeah, our next meeting
You
is-
took the words out of my mouth.
All right, go ahead, finish.
I was gonna say our next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, November 17th. We're back to our Tuesday meetings. Thank you. Motion to adjourn, anybody?
Go ahead,
So
Kevin.
moved. So moved.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Have a
Motion
great
passes.
night, everybody.
Good
Take
night.
care.
Everyone.